everyone, this is Thaddeus Boland from Free Salon Education. Today we're going to be doing a razor cut featuring long layers. We're going to start out in front and work our way from face framing into those layers. What I want you guys all to focus on is doing nice clean sectioning throughout these haircuts, so that way you know exactly what section of hair you're working with. What we're going to do first is to just determine how much hair we're going to be cutting off based off of where we want to see that face framing begin. I like to hold my razor for these types of cuts like a pencil. It's going to allow me to create nice soft lines, and I'm just really going to be etching in those lines as I go through the haircut, so that way I have a nice soft finish and it's going to flow really nicely for my guest. Whenever doing your sectioning, you always want to make sure that your razor is pointed away from the hair, so that way if the hair does touch your razor, it's touching the back blunt side and not the front sharp side. And as you can see, we're just going in there and making a nice soft line using a nice etching technique. Something to remember that as you're taking your section for your razor cut, you're going to want to make sure that as soon as you see your guideline fall out, you realize that that's your guideline and that that's where you're going to be cutting, but that you don't need to worry about the hair that falls out. You don't ever want to chase anything that's falling out of your section, because if you cut that, chances are you're going to be putting a hole in that haircut. As you go around the head, you're going to notice that your sections are getting larger and larger. I like to start to split these sections up so that I'm taking maybe 2 or 3 sections per side, so that way I'm not holding a ton of hair in my hands. You have to remember that the head shape changes every inch or so. So depending on the shape of somebody's head, if you're holding too much hair in your hands, you're changing the direction of each and every section and changing your haircut, which could create heaviness in your haircut that you're going to have to texturize out afterwards. So it's just going to be better to take smaller sections now and do less refining work. If and when I do dry cutting, I like to think of it more of as perfecting than correcting. If you're going in and doing dry cutting to correct your haircut, then you should be slowing down your wet cut before you even get to the point of going into your dry cut, because as soon as you start dry cutting, you're pretty much just putting your signature on the haircut. You shouldn't be going in and correcting lines or putting in putting in different sections of your haircut, like correcting a layer that may have a point or correcting a line that's not as straight as it should have been. So when we start our sectioning for the right side of her head, the lighter side of her head, we're just going to take a piece from the left side or your heavy side and use that as our guideline. So that way we can work our way around. We're keeping this side at a lower elevation because she has less hair on that side. If you take it at the same elevation and remove the same amount of weight as you did on the heavier side, her bottoms, like the bottoms of her hair, like the perimeter, is going to be very like fray and very soft and almost like maybe see-through or look like she needs to get a haircut. And we don't want that to happen, so like we want to have like a good density around the perimeter and have the layers framing around her face, but not to the point that it's going to make her hair look thin. So we're keeping that elevation nice and low, and we're going to be taking off like just a little bit less than we did on the heavier side. So right now what we're doing is we're just doing a round brush roller set. What this is going to allow us to do is we're going to really get in there with a nice voluminous blowout that's going to be giving a lot of movement and showing off those layers very nicely. So we're going to have a lot of really fun kicks and twists with the hair. And what this is going to be doing is we're heating up that round brush almost as if it was a roller. So once the hair is dry and the round brush is nice and hot, we're just going to let it sit there and cool, so that way the hair gets that nice set in it. When doing this, you want to make sure that you don't overlap your sections and get the hair knotted up, otherwise it's not going to unroll very nicely for you. One of the things that I really like to do is layer my product, and this little technique I picked up from Brian Hair. And what it is you just gather up all that hair that you just cut and blew dry, and you're just going to take it and twist it together almost as if it was a rope, and then put a little bit of hairspray on it before you let it go, and it's going to really intensify those twists and help you pull out and elongate all those curls for yourself. So there you have it, everyone. This is my long layered razor haircut. I hope you enjoyed it and have a wonderful day.